Hello, today we are going to look to the computer vision model and focus on the object detection. So as always, we can add that model, machine learning model, and this time it will be object detection. We are going to click and see what we can do. So with object detection, we can three options to train the model. We have local CPU, we have GPU that you need to install CUDA for this one. CUDA means generally that you can use a graphic card as a processor, so just to train models. And of course you can use Azure machine learning for a training model. It's quite powerful, but for this purpose I used GPU. Okay, we need to have the data to train, and of course object detection. In object detection you need to detect the object, so you need to mark that object. You can do that with a software called Make Sense AI. With this one I'm going to record some another video for this subject, how to label images. But those images are labeled, so we know that, for example, that stop sign is a stop sign. That one is labeled. How it's labeled? So basically, if you see here, there's some kind of input of JSON file that is required. How is that file is generated? So the file can be generated. So it's a JSON file. It's generated by the tool Make Sense AI, and basically is describing, let's say, all those kind of images and describing basically, I think, in a pixels when the object is selected. So when the object is selected, we see, okay, that is a stop sign. And we had quite a lot of data to train. I trained based on that data. It's not so a lot of images. It's about 50 something images, 52 items, I think. But it's good enough to train the model for that purpose. And after the training, we are generating that JSON file that we can upload here. Okay, so we have the dataset. We need to prepare a dataset, so we need to have the data, right data. We need to label the data, and we need to create a JSON file with this one. Okay, after that, what we need to do? We need to start training. Of course, the training takes some time, so I will not going to wait and train again. We are going to evaluate. After training, we have train model. Of course, that training we are using AutoML, so the mechanism is finding out the right model to train and to find the best model to train. And we are going to evaluate then. So okay, there is one picture already. It's stopped like this one, and it's okay. There's score threshold is about 95%. So that one is quite nice parameter, because we can always judge from which threshold we accept the result. So for example, we see clearly that it's a stop sign is a 95%. We say, okay, if we accept all images that is more than, for example, let's say 91% of accuracy, then we can say, okay, that image is okay. If not, that is not shown. So we can see some other image. For example, if we see this one, then we are going to detect that. Okay, and we can see that, okay, the mechanism is working like that. That is detecting two signs, so it's like a first stop and a second stop. So it's a little bit too much. We want to eliminate that one. we want to enter with a threshold, for example, setting up like already 80%, we eliminate all the noise. So in our case 80% would be okay. This one maybe we can see how it will be. It's 92%, so with threshold 80 it would be okay already. So it's quite okay. But that one is quite interesting image. You see here, model is getting a little bit confused because we have a lot of images that are, you know, red and white, that are round and so on. It looks a bit like stop signs, but we need to put a little bit higher threshold, and we see that more of them are disappearing. So even with, okay, in this case, for example, 70%, for 70% sure the model, for 70% model is sure that it's a stop sign. But if we put the 90%, it would be too much for this case. So the data is not quite good. That the sign is not so big, but I especially choose that example just to show how the detection model work. And for example, if we have that kind of detection model and it's already done, and we are happy with the, let's say, result, we can consume. Of course, we can deploy, train, or we can improve that model and play more with the model. Maybe we can see, maybe we can look to the better data. But for that purpose, it's quite okay. Of course, we can, as always, create console application or any kind of application that can consume a model, and web API. So with web API, for example, we can see, for example, that we can consume the model. We can write the image path, and then we will see if there is sign or not, and we can set up a threshold as well. So this is quite interesting model. Object detection. We can detect the right object, but we need to select that object, for example. This is kind of model trained with 50 images, but it works quite okay. If the sign is visible, for example, and if we have a threshold more than 90%, so 0.09 is selecting the images quite okay. So if you like the video, please subscribe the channel, press like button, and the code, as always, will be in a description or in a comment section. Thank you for watching.